They say life is a journey, and if you've made it to 70, you've already traveled a long road. But let me tell you something. Just making it to 70 isn't the real achievement. The real question is, how well are you still living? Because not all 70-year-olds are the same. Some are full of energy, walking with a steady stride, enjoying their meals, laughing with friends, and keeping their minds sharp. Others? Well, they're struggling. Weak, tired, dependent. Now here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. The way you age is not just about luck. Of course, genetics play a part, but they don't write the whole story. Your habits, your mindset, the way you treat your body and mind, all of these decide whether you'll just exist after 70 or truly live. And if you've still got these 5 signs in your life, congratulations, you're built for a long and healthy journey ahead. Let's talk about the first sign. If you still have a strong sense of purpose, you're way ahead of the game. And I don't mean some grand ambition like changing the world. Purpose doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as waking up in the morning and knowing exactly why your day matters. Maybe it's your family, your hobbies, your garden, or even a simple routine that gives you a reason to keep moving. I've seen it with my own eyes. People who retire and lose their purpose, they decline fast. It's not just a coincidence. Science backs it up too. Researchers have found that people with a clear sense of purpose tend to live longer, with a lower risk of heart disease, depression, and even cognitive decline. You see, the body follows the mind. When the mind believes life still has meaning, the body responds with strength. I remember an old neighbor of mine, Mr. Thompson. He was 85, and every morning at sunrise, he'd step out with a small rake in his hand and tend to his little vegetable patch. "Gotta make sure these tomatoes come in right," he'd say, grinning ear to ear. Now, to anyone else, it was just a garden. But to him, it was purpose. He didn't need to do it. He wasn't selling those tomatoes. He wasn't feeding a whole village. But that little patch of soil kept him moving, kept him looking forward to tomorrow. And when you have something to look forward to, life has a way of holding on to you a little longer. But the moment you start waking up with nothing to do, no goal, no curiosity, no excitement, well, that's when life starts slipping away faster than you realize. That's when days blend into nights, when time loses its shape, and when the body slowly starts to believe it's no longer needed. So ask yourself, do you still have something that keeps you going? Something that makes you want to get out of bed, even on the days when it's easier to stay in? If you do, hold on to it, nurture it, because that's not just a small thing, it's a lifeline. Now, let's be clear. Purpose doesn't mean you have to be busy every minute of the day. Some people think that if they're not working like they did in their 40s or 50s, they have no purpose left. That's nonsense. Purpose changes with age. It adapts. Maybe in your younger years it was about building a career, raising a family, or achieving financial goals. Now, maybe it's about enjoying the simple things, taking care of your grandchildren, reading books, learning something new, mentoring younger people, or just staying connected with the world around you. I've met too many people in their later years who feel like they've outlived their usefulness. And I always tell them the same thing. You're only as old as you let yourself feel. If you believe your best days are behind you, then they probably are. But if you wake up with even a small fire in your heart, something that keeps you moving forward, your body will keep up with you. There's a reason why people in places like Okinawa, Japan, or the hills of Sardinia, Italy, live well into their 90s and beyond. They have something they call ikigai, a reason to wake up every morning. And it doesn't have to be something world-changing. It could be making tea in the morning, walking to the market, chatting with a friend, or writing letters. But that simple sense of purpose keeps their hearts beating stronger. So if you've reached 70 and you still have a reason to keep going, you're already ahead of so many others. That's the first sign that you're built for a long, healthy life. But there are 4 more signs, and trust me, they matter just as much. The second sign that you're made for a long life, you still move. Now, I'm not saying you have to be running marathons or lifting heavy weights. That's not the point. The point is, you haven't stopped. You still get up, stretch, walk, maybe even dance when a good song comes on. Your body still listens when you tell it to move. And if that's the case, my friend, congratulations, because movement is the one thing that separates those who thrive from those who fade. I've seen it happen too many times. Someone reaches 70, maybe 75, and they start slowing down too much. At first, it's just small things, sitting a little longer, skipping a daily walk, choosing the couch over a little activity. Then, before they know it, their legs aren't as strong. Their balance isn't as steady. They don't feel like going outside as much anymore. And once the body slows down too much, the mind follows right behind it. You see, the human body was never meant to be still for too long. Muscles are like a good friendship. You have to keep using them, or they fade away. The moment you stop moving, your muscles start shrinking, your joints stiffen, your heart doesn't work as efficiently, and your blood doesn't flow as well. That's when people start falling, getting injuries, or feeling weak all the time. And once you stop trusting your body, life becomes a lot harder than it needs to be. But if you're over 70 and you're still moving, still taking walks, still using the stairs, still doing little things for yourself, then you're way ahead of so many others. It means your body still knows how to support you. It means your muscles are still active, your bones are still strong, and your circulation is still keeping everything in check. Let me tell you about an old friend of mine, Mr. Davis. The man was 92 years old and still walked to the corner store every morning to buy his newspaper. "I don't need to walk," he'd say, "but I do it because the day I stop is the day I won't be able to anymore." And he was right. You don't stop moving because you're old. You get old because you stop moving. And here's the thing, it's never too late to keep moving. Even if you've slowed down in the past, you can always start again. You don't need to do anything extreme. Just get up and move a little more than yesterday. Stretch your arms, rotate your ankles, stand up and sit down a few times. Take a short walk, maybe even dance in the kitchen if the mood hits you. I know some people might say, "Oh, but my knees hurt," or "My back isn't what it used to be." And I get it. But movement isn't about pushing yourself into pain. It's about keeping yourself functional. If you can still do a little, do that little every single day. Because once you stop using your body, it won't be long before you feel trapped inside it. Science has backed this up time and time again. Studies show that people who stay physically active, even just walking a little every day, live longer, have better heart health, and keep their independence for much longer. They don't need as much help getting around. They don't fear falling as much. They don't spend their later years stuck in a chair watching life pass them by. And let me tell you something, independence is one of the greatest gifts of old age. To be able to get up when you want, go where you want, do things for yourself without constantly needing someone else's help, that is freedom. And the best way to keep that freedom? Keep moving. Now, don't think you need to start some fancy exercise routine. No. Movement can be simple. Walking counts. Gardening counts. Stretching in the morning counts. Even standing up and sitting down from a chair a few times a day, that counts. The trick is consistency. The body adapts to what you do most. If you move every day, your body learns to stay strong. If you sit every day, your body learns to stay weak. It really is that simple. And let's not forget one more important thing, balance. One of the biggest dangers of aging is losing balance. That's why so many older people suffer from falls that change their lives forever. But balance isn't just something that disappears. It disappears because people stop challenging it. If you don't use it, you lose it. So what can you do? Try little things. Stand on one foot for a few seconds while brushing your teeth. Walk on different surfaces, like grass or gravel, to engage your stabilizing muscles. Hold onto a chair and practice shifting your weight from one foot to another. These small actions make a huge difference in keeping your balance sharp. And here's something most people don't realize. The older you get, the more you should focus on your legs. Strong legs mean strong mobility. If you can keep your legs strong, you're giving yourself the best chance at staying independent. That's why simple leg exercises, like getting up from a chair without using your hands, are worth doing every single day. So if you're over 70 and you still move, still walk, still use your body, even if it's not as fast or as strong as it used to be, congratulations. You're not just sitting back and waiting for time to catch up with you. You're proving that life is still in you. And as long as you keep moving, life will keep moving with you. The third sign that you're made for a long life, you stay connected. I don't just mean picking up the phone once in a while or saying hello to a neighbor. No, I mean genuinely staying connected to people. Having conversations, sharing meals, laughing together, feeling like you belong to something bigger than just yourself. Loneliness is one of the quietest killers of old age. It sneaks up on people. At first, it's just a little bit of isolation. Maybe the kids are busy, old friends have moved or passed away, and life just seems quieter than before. But if you're not careful, that quiet can turn into emptiness. And once a person starts feeling like they don't matter anymore, it's not long before their body starts agreeing with them. Now let me be clear. I'm not saying you need to be surrounded by people all the time. Some of the happiest and longest living people in the world are not social butterflies, but what they do have is connection. They have at least a few people they can talk to, laugh with, and feel close to. They know they're not walking through life alone. You ever notice how some older folks just seem to light up when they're around family or friends? That's not just happiness. It's life itself showing up in them. The heart beats stronger. The mind sharpens, and suddenly, they feel alive again. That's the power of human connection. I had an old friend, Mrs. Carter. She was 87 years old, lived alone, but you would never catch her feeling lonely. Why? Because every day she made sure to talk to someone. Whether it was a neighbor, a friend, or even just the cashier at the grocery store, she made it a point to engage with the world. And let me tell you, that woman had more energy than people, half her age. You see, the moment you stop interacting, your world starts shrinking. And when your world shrinks, your spirit does too. That's when people start feeling forgotten. That's when depression sets in. And depression, my friend, is just as dangerous as any disease. It raises stress, weakens the immune system, and makes life feel heavier than it needs to be. Science has proven this time and time again. People who maintain strong relationships live longer. They have lower risks of heart disease, better mental health, and even stronger immune systems. There's a reason why in places like Okinawa, Japan, where people often live past 100, they prioritize community. They form small social circles called moais, groups of friends who support each other for life. That sense of belonging keeps them going. So if you're over 70 and you still have people in your life that you connect with, really connect with, you are ahead of so many others. You're giving yourself one of the greatest gifts of longevity. But I know what some people might be thinking. What if I don't have anyone? What if I've lost friends, family, or just don't have the same social life anymore? To that, I say this: it's never too late to rebuild connections. Maybe you can reach out to an old friend, join a local group, start chatting with your neighbors, or even find an online community of like-minded people. The form of connection doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep talking, keep engaging, and keep reminding yourself that you are still a part of this world. And here's something else people don't always think about. Giving to others is one of the best ways to feel connected. Maybe you volunteer somewhere. Maybe you mentor someone younger. Maybe you just make it a habit to check in on people. Because here's the truth. When you make others feel valued, you feel valued too. When you lift others up, life lifts you right back. That's how connection works. And let's not forget one more thing: laughter. Oh, if you still laugh, if you still find humor in life, if you still chuckle at silly things, congratulations. You're adding years to your life without even realizing it. Laughter isn't just about fun, it's medicine. It reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and even improves brain function. If you still laugh, you still have joy in your heart. And that, my friend, is a sign of life that refuses to fade. So let me ask you, are you staying connected? Are you talking, listening, laughing, and sharing moments with others? If you are, hold on to that. Because the moment you let go of connection, life starts slipping away faster than it should. We've now covered 3 powerful signs of longevity: purpose, movement, and connection. But there are still 2 more. And trust me, the next one is just as important. The 4th sign that you're made for a long life: you handle stress well. Now, let's get something straight. Everyone faces stress. There's no avoiding it. Life doesn't suddenly become easy just because you've reached 70 or 80. No, the real difference between those who thrive in old age and those who don't isn't whether they have stress, it's how they handle it. See, some people let stress eat away at them. They hold on to anger, they dwell on regrets, they get frustrated over things they can't control. And all that negativity, it weighs them down. It doesn't just make them unhappy, it makes them unhealthy. High stress weakens the immune system, damages the heart, messes with sleep, and even speeds up aging at a cellular level. But then, there are those people who seem to take life as it comes. No matter what happens, they stay calm. They roll with the punches. They might not have all the answers, but they don't let worry run their lives. And you know what? They live longer. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone go through a tough time, but instead of breaking down, they just shrug and keep going? That attitude isn't just personality, it's a survival skill. People who live long lives have learned the art of letting go. I once knew a man, Mr. Richardson. He was 95 years old and had lived through more hardships than most. Lost his wife early, had financial struggles, even battled an illness in his 60s, but you'd never catch him complaining. "What good would it do?" he'd say, laughing. "Stress never fixed a problem. It only makes you miserable while you're solving it." That right there? Wisdom. If you've made it past 70 and you know how to stay calm, how to focus on solutions instead of problems, and how to let go of things that aren't worth your energy, then congratulations. You're giving yourself extra years without even realizing it. And here's the thing, it's never too late to improve how you handle stress. Maybe it's learning to breathe through frustration. Maybe it's walking away from arguments that aren't worth it. Maybe it's simply deciding not to let little things ruin your day. However you do it, keeping your stress low is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Now, that brings us to the 5th and final sign of longevity. And this one? It ties everything together. The 5th sign that you're built for a long life? You stay curious. Yes, curiosity. The simple desire to keep learning, keep growing, keep experiencing new things. That's what keeps the mind young. You ever notice how some older folks get stuck in their ways? They don't want to learn new technology. They don't care to try new foods. They don't bother asking new questions. And after a while, life just shrinks around them. Their world gets smaller, their thoughts get repetitive, and their minds? Well, they start fading faster than they should. But then, there are the others, the ones who never stop exploring. They still read books, they still ask questions, they still try to figure things out. And those people? They stay sharper, longer. There's a reason why doctors always say that keeping the brain active helps prevent cognitive decline. It's not just about crossword puzzles and memory games. It's about staying engaged with life. Learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, trying something different. All of these things keep the brain strong. I remember my Aunt Helen. She was 89 when she decided she wanted to learn how to use a smartphone. Now, did she struggle with it? At first? Oh, absolutely. But she laughed through it, kept trying, and before long she was texting like a teenager. And you know what? That small act of curiosity kept her connected to the world, kept her brain working, and gave her something new to enjoy. The moment you stop being curious, life stops feeling interesting. And when life stops feeling interesting, Well, that's when people start checking out too soon. So let me ask you, are you still curious? Do you still want to learn, explore, and experience new things? If the answer is yes, then my friend, you've got one of the strongest indicators of a long and fulfilling life. If you've still got these signs in your life after 70, congratulations. You're not just existing, you're truly living. And let me tell you something. It's never too late to strengthen these 5 things. Even if you feel like you've lost 1 or 2, you can always bring them back. Purpose, movement, connection, peace, and curiosity. These are choices. And as long as you're breathing, you still have time to make them. So keep going, keep moving, keep laughing, keep learning, and keep enjoying life. Because if you've made it this far, you've already proven something important. You're built to last.